So this is part 3, right? To the Rolling Loud, the Donq situation and all that. Now, capitalist America, they're speeding up the agenda. They speeding it up. It's all type of cameras. They got drones. They got robots now. They got transsexuals that's getting uteruses and having babies. So they speeding the agenda up because they was behind, right? So the agenda is basically, basically like to really enslave us and put us back in, in servitude, and what, it ain't necessarily picking cotton on the field getting whipped. It's more sophisticated now. It might be working in a big warehouse, building machines and building robots, the same robots that's on governing us and tell us what to do. Building big glass structured buildings like this and big beams and stuff like that. So the agenda is speeding up their process, right? They got cameras that can listen to us. All type of shit is going on. These young black millionaires, they see these dudes as, just enjoying their life and having fun, right? Evil don't like happiness. Evil don't like happiness. The devil don't like happiness. He don't like the anointed ones to be in peace and to flourish and to live good, right? And the anointed ones ain't just black people. We not saying that. There's good white people. There's good in every race and culture and color and creed. And then there's evil in every race, culture, color, and creed. But the agenda that the machine or America has for black people is a darker agenda. It's a real darker agenda. And we always going to be targeted it because we're a different type of cloth. We have a different type of lineage and we have a different type of story in this book of life. So anyway, Nypd blocking Donq queuing them, right? When they developed hip-hop police after Biggie and Pac was killed, and they started monitoring rappers, getting them on fouls and harassing them, these same people of color that work for this oppressive, institutional, governmental force that oversees the city always targeted us. So if these dudes is riding around in Lamborghinis, all type of Porsches and icy watches, they like, oh, they dumb. They misusing their money. They just buying trinkets and, they buying toys and everything. Okay, so they being irresponsible with the money. They's mismanaging it. That's a plus because eventually they're going to go broke. But also we have to limit their shows and limit how much performances they do because all of them is in gangs, allegedly criminal enterprises, shootouts is happening at shows, venues is getting tarnished and everything, right? Rock and roll don't never go through that. These dudes overdosed. Kurt Cobain overdosed on heroin or whatever drugs he did. These rock places, these mosh pits, these niggas be coked up, drugged up, ecstasy, Molly, fentanyl up. They be fucking tattooed up, AIDS infested, demon, devil worshiping, and they never fuck with these people. They never fuck with these people. These niggas do all type of shit. You know how many chicks get raped, date raped at rock concerts because they drugged and they intoxicated? And even though Trump don't fuck with Mexicans, but I know 1 billion Mexican after-hour spots in the 5 boroughs, they never running them shits. And them shits be contaminated. Them shits got all type of underworld activity going on. But they're running it after hour if they know black people own it and you know, it got some dudes in there, you know, getting money, a camel and spot or whatever. They're running it, but they don't run it. None of these Mexican joints that have all the posters on the window where you can't see in, and the mommies is charging you $2 a song or $5 a song just to dance with them and all that. They caking off. All this is unmarked money, tax-free money, and they never bothered them, you know, because the one thing, you know, black people don't get it, right? The word is out everywhere. We the only ones that don't get the joke. The joke is on us. And the joke is keep them motherfuckers at the bottom of this totem pole, and everybody else, y'all can come here and flourish, and y'all can do what y'all want, but keep them motherfuckers at the bottom of the totem pole. And I know that's the protocol, because nowhere in the world I put in 1 billion applications for every hospital in the 5 boroughs, and they always told me they not hiring. But every time I walk in Lincoln Hospital, which is right on my block, I see mad Mexicans, mad Africans, mad Indians. So I'm like, how the fuck all these African people that just came here, been here for the last 5 years, how did they get jobs in Lincoln Hospital as maintenance workers or whatever? And I live right up the block, born and raised, and filled out applications, and I never got hired. Webster Projects got so many Africans living in Webster Projects. How did all these Africans get in Webster Projects if there's supposed to be a long waiting list of black and Puerto Rican women that have been in tier 2 shelters from 1 year to 3 years waiting to get apartments? How did all these African women or African families skip them and get in the projects? They deep in Webster Projects. They deep in my hood on Cortland. And I'm not mad at the Africans for doing whatever they doing. All I'm saying is there's an agenda and there's some corruption going on. And the protocol, the agenda is we going to let every other subculture flourish, and we going to keep the African Americans down. And then the African Americans going to eventually get angry because they're down, and that's going to cause them to bicker and fight amongst each other. So if the Africans, the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, the Mexicans, the African Americans, the Hondurans, the West Indians, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, and all these sub-black cultures all fight each other, they'll never think about fighting us. They won't have enough time. They'll be so busy at each other's throat, they'll never come at our throat. And then we can just wait till all of them destroy each other, and whoever's left, we re-enslave them. So now, in conclusion, if Donq, Pop Smoke, Cassanova, and them unite, this is the solution. And dudes start booking their own shows and getting their own tour agents, and they do what they do. Same way the Griselda dudes from Buffalo book their own shows and everything. They could make a lot of money, and NYPD won't be able to dent they shit. But that Rolling Loud shit was somebody else's platform, which probably was white people. That's their platform. NYPD scared them. But if I'm doing direct business with Webster Hall, or direct business with Sony Hall, or direct business with Irving Plaza or Highline Ballroom, who the fuck is them to intervene with me and my managers and all that doing business with these venues? So it'll be a better look anyway if dudes go around it and stop getting on other people's platforms and little tour shows and do their own shit. It could be New York is back tour, boom bap rap is back, or whatever, you know, whatever the name they could come up with, right? So the solution is to unify, be more organized, and do your own tours. Now the thing about the living situations with the Africans, the West Indians, and how they got us bickering amongst each other, the solution to that is if all of us come together. And I ain't saying come together where we compromise our own identities and our own agendas and movements, but we have like a representative from each tribe. The Puerto Ricans have their representative, the Haitians have their representative, the Africans have their representative, and we all sit down and brainstorm and form a network And they can still have their African neighborhood, and they can have their Puerto Rican neighborhood, Spanish Harlem, they can have their Dominican neighborhood, Washington Heights, and everybody got their own neighborhood, and the African Americans do what they do, whether it's Harlem, or we build a new Seneca village, a new modern day Seneca village, and we all have a treaty and agree to be in peace with each other, and we all do business with each other, and we circulate the money amongst ourselves, and it'll all work out. That's far-fetched. That solution is far-fetched. But, this is the type of shit I think about. But eventually, hip-hop is going to be taken from us. It's going to be stolen. Like, I'm talking about fully out of our hands, where we ain't going to no longer have no control. And we're going to have to relinquish that shit and come up with a new genre of music. And it's going to start back from a grassroots place from scratch, and they're gonna try to stomp on that, and because times is more modern now. So if hip-hop went through some bullshit in the 70s, they was like, oh, this is bullshit music, this is violent music. They tried to step on it back then. If we create a new genre of music that they can't mimic or capitalize off of, they gonna try to blackball that. Oh, this is some new music, it's violent, it promotes this or whatever. They always trying to tarnish everything we do. And then speaking of the culture vulture thing that I was speaking in part 2, another one of the first culture vultures dealing with the rap music shit was Sylvia Robinson, who owns Sugar Hill Records, because the Sugar Hill Gang, the song they got, Hip Hop, a Hippie, that's supposed to have been like the first commercial hip hop song, which came out in like 1978 on the radio, right? One of them, I think it was Big Bang Hank, he stole Grandmaster Caz's verse. And then the other two members from Sugar Hill Gang said two other rappers' verses. So that whole song was stolen bars and stolen material. And she didn't give a fuck, Sylvia Robinson, because at that time they didn't know no better, Grandmaster Caz. She like, oh, them niggas didn't copyright that shit. Y'all gonna say the verse, we gonna copyright that. Y'all gonna say these verses over the beats. This is a song we got, we gonna push this shit. And that song became a platinum song, that Rapper's Delight shit. That Rapper's Delight shit became a platinum song. So Sylvia Robinson was one of the first culture vultures. Then it was Fab Five Freddy, Africa Bambaataa, and all them. Then it was Russell Simmons. Then we know Russell Simmons taught Andre Harrell, and then Andre Harrell taught Puff, and then so on and so on. We know Puff is a culture vulture, and if y'all don't believe it, Puff is a culture vulture. Nobody out of Bad Boy is successful. Everybody fucked up. What saved the lead singer for Total is that she's married to Omar Epps. She got 2 kids by him. But most of the members of Bad Boy Records is financially down. Faith married Stevie J, which was Biggie's man, because Stevie J was a part of the Hitmen, and they made beats for Bad Boy. So, their goal in the future is really to indict all these gangs, lock all these gangs up, the Woos, the Chos, the Crips, the Bloods, the Gangsta Disciples, the YGs, anything that's gangbanging or that's a fucking sub-military army, urban army. Their goal is really to get rid of all of them, because they're going to try to cripple us for generations and generations to come. And little Billy Bob or little Bobby Billy, or whatever he's gonna, or whatever's the race or the culture, color, or creed that's gonna dominate in the future, they kids gonna be all right, growing up to be the same lawyers, judges, and correctional officers that's gonna govern us. While we down and incarcerated and locked up. So we cattle to them, man. Or, the black community is worth billions and trillions and zillions. We just got poor spending habits. This is why the great majority of YouTube posts I've been doing, I'm always in black. Y'all gonna see me in purple and y'all gonna see me in green. I wear uniforms. I don't even wear outfits no more. I wear uniforms. And I'm sitting on 1 billion tons of fly clothes and all that. I don't even get fly no more. I just be uniformed up. But anyway, stay tuned for the next blog. Subscribe to my page. Give me a thumbs up. Iron Sheik, Army of the Law, War General, G, that from the feet up, official tissue down to the bone gristle. Iron. Intelligence rule over negative nonsense. Chic, so help educate innocent kids heroically. Warlord, wisdom and righteousness rule. Wisdom and righteousness is law over reckless decisions. I'm sorry about that. Pardon me, y'all. And the only time wise men hang around fools is when they educating them or enslaving them. If you knew better, you'd do better. Train hard, fight easy. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Stay up like a cup, I'll back on my collar crack. Uno.